I'm gonna start me a business, but the business is gonna be named Bitcoin Vegan. And granted, people might get confused at the name at first, but once I explain to them why I named it that, like I named the company that because those two things transformed my life coming home from prison. And I was like, I don't want to never forget that. Like I don't want folks to ever forget that.
Buddha bless this beat.
Hey, you met my homeboy too, man, Zay.
Yeah. I'm reading his book, and I had him on the show, and I watch his thing all the time. Gentleman of Crypto.
Yeah, so I've been knowing Zay since I was about 12 years old. Right?
Oh God.
We played ball together and everything. So it was 2016 when I saw him again. I had just come home from prison. I was locked up from 2011, 2014.
All right.
And I was trying to really, get started with something like either in business or just do something. And I saw Zay at the gas station. He said, yeah, man, follow me on Instagram. I'm like, all right, whatever. So then I watched the movie Dope. I'm like, what the hell is that? I let it fly by, whatever. Then I started checking Zay page out, and I'm thinking, all right, I'm seeing that B again. What is this? So this is before he moved to California and all that. And I was down. I was just coming home from prison, bro. That's some hard stuff.
Right.
And so I was like, bro, what is this? He said, man, it was he said this could either be storage of gold, it could be used as money, it could be whatever you want it to be. So I'm like, so you mean to tell me if I hold this or do this right, that I can make some money with it, to change my situation? He said, hell yeah. So that was in 2016. And so at first, I ain't really know much about Bitcoin, right? But I was cooking some food out of my house, delivering it for this company called Vegan. I started my own company called Vegan on the Go. And I told them all right, so I said, I'm cooking out of my house. I said, I want to make more Bitcoin. So I just started accepting Bitcoin through the business I created. And it wasn't necessarily a business, it was more so a hustle.
Well, it was a business, bro. Stop playing. Stop playing.
Yeah.
Stop playing, bro.
So then I ran across some more dudes online. They were more from the West Coast. And Zay was in the trading, which was cool, but I didn't really, I really couldn't sit down and trade all the time.
I can't either, bro.
But what I learned from these dudes called Murex Bitcoin Solutions, they taught me what Bitcoin really was. They taught me how to notice the FUD, notice the trends. And it was you might not be building a quote unquote Bitcoin company, but if you got a business and you accept Bitcoin and you know how to contribute to the space, you'll find yourself to be valuable. So at first, bro, I used to just sell Bitcoin in the streets. Somebody was like, man, I want to buy some Bitcoin. I throw them a percentage on there, but then I'll go to the Bitcoin ATM and send it to their wallet. I would do random consultations off the internet for Bitcoin to gain Bitcoin. Hell, when sometimes the price would jump and I ain't had no money to pay bills, I paid my bills when they had the shift card. So then
you had the shift card. Them things is gone now, aren't they?
That was some sweet stuff, boy. I ain't gonna lie. Shift was sweet. Shift was a sweet time in America, boy. And so then I tried my hand at the tech. I tried to build a Bitcoin node. I tried to build a Lightning node, and that was some heavy stuff. So I kind of slid back from the technical stuff, and then I just focused on coaching. So I told Zay, I said, I'm gonna start me a business, but the business is gonna be named Bitcoin Vegan. And granted, people might get confused at the name at first, but once I explained to them why I named it that, I named the company that because those two things transformed my life coming home from prison. And I was I don't want to never forget that. I don't want folks to ever forget that. Plus, I wanted to find a way to get the name out there more. I wanted to possibly be somebody that could drive the price up and down, whatever I felt like. So
you trying to be an influencer?
So then I got into So what I really do, what I do now, I'm a memory and a mindset coach. I help people learn faster. I help them retain more, help them get over, they blocks of old beliefs. But I kept the name Bitcoin Vegan for a specific purpose, to where, you saw me on TV, what did my shirt say?
Bitcoin vegan.
So when and my whole thing was when Zay moved from Charlotte, my idea was like, all right, he's going. They ain't got no Bitcoin dude here now. I'm about to just go ahead and fill that role.
Mm-hmm.
But as everybody else, like, oh, it takes time to understand whatever. But now you see me on TV. Now you said the name. Hell, the people on the news said, what is Bitcoin vegan? It's being heard. Like, my whole purpose of naming the company, that no matter whether I did stuff in crypto or blockchain space or not, was for the name to start ringing more bells in people's ears, and plus see it as someone that looks like us talk about it or promote it, to where it's not just white boys and Asians the whole time.
All right,
even if you look in Zay's book, you look in the back of the book, my name is in there. Justin.
Oh, so you got rights, bruh. All right. Well, one thing I want to do, I lied to you. I've been started recording, because what you just said is way better than me trying to ask you a question and you try to explain it properly. I want to be able to get this. So we're already recording, so I like that. But what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna do the intro real quick, and then we just gonna go into talking. What's going on, crypto cousins? It's your Bitcoin baby daddy here with another episode of Crypto and Culture. So today I'm here with Justin Redrick. I'm gonna say his name wrong for some reason. I'm gonna say Redrick. I'm gonna say Roderick, but he gonna tell me I'm wrong so he can say it right. But I'm here with the CEO of Bitcoin Vegan Transformational Services. I was about to say LLC, but I don't even know if it's an LLC. I'm over here tripping. But anyways, Justin, huh?
No, you good. Keep going. You good.
You just big. But anyways, what's going on, Justin? How you doing today, man?
I mean, I'm doing good, man. Doing the stay-at-home thing. Can't really. I think I'm about to try to learn how to shape my own self up, because it's about to get wild out here. Everything is going good.
You see this? You see this right here, bro? You see I'm over here in the 70s, bro, trying to figure something out, man. So I understand, and I don't grow no facial hair, so I don't know. This all patchy. You feel me? The women don't like that, but they gonna have to deal. You feel me?
Yeah, but, I feel like I'm from the mountains out here, so.
You feel like I'm a big ass nigga, so I be like, all right. So completely off topic. The one thing I hate the most about being a big dude, people always want to ask if I can help them move, and I'm like, oh Lord, no, I hate that. But anyways, guys, I just want to make sure that you guys know Justin. I've seen him on Twitter. I've seen him on Instagram. I thought I saw you on Instagram. I could be wrong, but I seen you. Yeah, cool. Me on Instagram, yeah. Okay, good. I want to make sure I follow all my black peoples. But I follow him on Instagram, and I've also seen him on the local news over there in South Carolina. I've seen you promote North Carolina. Oh, I might see now. I gotta edit that out. I've seen him on the news in North Carolina. Did I say it right that time? Because I said South before. All right, cool. I'm gonna edit that.
Yeah, you're right. Matter of fact, I was on both of them. You are right. Dang.
Oh, you are on both of them? Hey, see, you got to big yourself up. Not only that, but I've also, one of the ways I've noticed this guy is that I've seen him on, in the back of Bitcoin Zay's book, Bitcoin in Black America, if you don't get your copy now, but he's also listed on the back as prominent, black individuals in the space that are working to not only spread adoption, but, just also learn and spread adoption. Like, what else are we talking about? So you talked about, meeting Bitcoin Zay. You talk about how he influenced you and how he spread the word. And now your transformational services, you're really more helping people, deal with like remembering things, but you really chose to keep the name Bitcoin Vegan because people are always going to keep seeing that Bitcoin Vegan and they're like, wait, what? So what is it about? Like, what's going on? And I think I love it because the Bitcoin logo it's free. It's open source. Anybody can use it for anything. So you can put Bitcoin anything and nobody can sue you. You get what I'm saying? Unless somebody else says Bitcoin vegan, like, nah, bro, run me my money. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. But you can say Bitcoin anything and nobody can really sue you. And so, but you use it as a way to get people to see it, even though you don't really directly work with like building code or like trading or like whatever. But there's not yet. but there's still a space for you. There's still a place for you here to not only build your name, build your influence, but spread adoption. Now, how do you feel like ain't really that much kind of like, how do I put it? Ain't no industry out there that's allowing you to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like we're as like regular individuals, you know, regular day people, we've never been able to enter into a space like this so early. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of people, and then the reason why we know we're still early is because people still looking at us like we're crazy. And then that's how I know I'm like, oh, we still early, because then we're gonna be looked at as crazy now, but then in a couple of years, oh wait, he was talking about what is that bit? What's that?
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this, right? You said we early and we in like year 11, right? So in 2016, when I really started talking about it, folks thought I was supremely crazy. Like my whole Facebook feed, my neighborhood in Charlotte, they were just like, you know, they try and think whatever. But now, you know, we here in 2020, I get a call from Zay, and Zay said, I told you, we talked about this 4 years ago, right? Like we talked about how money is going to look different. And when the world has a tipping point economically, folks not going to have nowhere, they didn't have nowhere to run to before, but now you do. So it was almost like a bit of a game. Like, all right, we're going to plant this seed here now. And like you said, folks still look at us crazy. It's 2020. In 5 more years, somebody's going to be like, yo, we're going to have to do something. Like we're going to have to participate. Your child, like my daughter knows what Bitcoin is. She could say it out the gate, and she's only 3. That was another. No, I'm sorry, I had to say make sure she know what that is. What you mean? That was one of the main reasons, you know what I mean? Like now we got, you know, Bitcoin kids, crypto babies, you know what I mean? Like it's gonna become a reality, and it's becoming more and more reality. Like this is what it's gonna be, and it don't take long. Like it does not take long. That's the other the magnificent part about it. Like it don't take long. Don't take long too long.
So you said, so there's 2 things I wanna highlight on there. Well, actually there's 3 things, but I'm gonna keep the 2. First thing you said is you have your daughter. You have congratulations. I don't know how old your daughter is, but congratulations. You said that your daughter knows what Bitcoin is, and that goes to another saying that I heard from somebody else. There are 12-year-olds and 12-year-olds who live in a world where they only know Bitcoin exists. There are think about that. They live in a world where Bitcoin always existed. It wasn't this thing's only been around for 12 years. No, it's been around since I've been around. And when that realization really hits that generation, like when that 12-year-old's 18 or when that 12-year-old's 20, then it's going to be like, what are you talking, Bic? Yeah, of course, I got some in my wallet. And then it's going to be just like that. And so that's why when you say, oh, you teaching your daughter, you already putting her ahead of step. You're already teaching her what real money is. And I love hearing that, bro. I love hearing that, man. And then what's this? So you're talking about your daughter. You're talking about like how fast it moved. Now you're speaking of like back in 2016, and Jay was telling you, nah, bro, it's gonna come fast. Sometimes I feel like, especially with me, because I'm making content and I'm always looking at crypto Twitter, just the trolls and whatnot, and sometimes it feels like it's slow, but slow is like a month. You know what I'm saying? People don't realize this thing is gonna develop over. When you say, man, 2 years, damn, I gotta hold this bit for 2 years to make a real return, and I'm like, well, would you do that same thing with a stock? Wouldn't you wait? You wouldn't put your money in a stock and put it there a couple seconds and then take it out. Then why would you think this thing is the same way? And so this is where I was gonna lead into. How do we move from this whole idea that Bitcoin is a get rich quick scheme? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be honest, somebody got to get burned. You know, you got to play the game. one of the reasons why Bitcoin stuck so well in my brain, the way Zay explained it, was like decentralized currency. So, like I said, I was in prison, and like they give you cards, like little ID cards that you could swipe to buy a canteen with. However, what's cash on the yard was post stamps. Like if I had stamps, the stamps was worth money to somebody. But those stamps were the price of the stamp on the prison yard was dictated on the price of what it was out in the real world. But that helped me understand what decentralized money was. And within that, like when I said it came fast, like really, when I had friends, I was just telling them about Bitcoin, especially in that crazy year 2017. You're like, yo, man, like you were online, I done tripled my money, this, that, and third. I'm like, bro, that's really nothing. And so then someone would say, well, such and such stock went up 30%. I'm like, bro, you talking about 30%, but in 1 year we saw a 200% return. Like this is not the same money here. So people would be on the sidelines watching, right? And it was like, man, I need to get into that. But once they're in it, it's like now you got different emotion. Now it's like, what am I gonna do now? Like, oh my God, it's going up, it's going down. Like you gotta ride that wave. Like you're not gonna be able to play that sideline. You gotta ride that wave and know what that is actually like. You know what I mean? Because now when people tell me like, oh well, it dropped. I said, well, I hope it dropped to $3,000, to be honest with you. Why is that? I just put my money in. Go buy some more
buy some. No, bro, don't do that to him. No, because you said, bro, I hope it dropped to 3K. And he's like, why would you do that? I just buy some more. What you mean? Because the thing is like, it's kind of like a football game. And just to bring some football analogy to it, you on the sidelines, coach put you in, you finna get hit. Like regardless, you finna get hit. Either you're gonna get hit with a scammer, you're gonna get hit when the price drops 50% the day after you bought some, and you gonna get hit somehow. But it's about when you get hit, are you gonna ride the wave, or are you gonna get out and say, man, this thing's wild, I can't even touch it. And
it's wild, boy.
This thing is, and trust me, I tell my story all the time, bro. I don't know if you know my story. So my story is, I bought at the top, like for real. I literally, the first time I bought Bitcoin was off of Coinbase, and I go back to my very first Bitcoin purchase, and it was literally like December 15, 16, one of those days, literally the day of the top, like the top, like I'm talking like 20,000, but it was really like 18 something. No, like that was the very first day I bought a Bitcoin, because I was on some other stuff, bro. And I always tell this story because like, oh wow, bro, you still here? Lord, how did you do? How'd you make it? And the thing is like, but the thing is like, it was people like Zay who told me, oh, don't even worry about that. Why? Because I remember back in 2014 when I bought the top. So don't even worry about it, bro. Trust me. The longer you here, the better it's gonna feel when you get back to the top and you like, oh, I made it. I made it. They ain't shake me out. I got strong hands. The fuck you talking about? You feel me? No, for real, I got strong hands out here. So
yeah, I get you. Like.
So, but but there's something that you were talking about. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You were talking about how back on the, you had to pay with some like a debit card, to get like your stuff in jail. But not only that, on the yard, it was a different type of currency on the yard. Stamps was the currency. So you already understand this idea of I'm gonna exchange this for just because here, this is a free market. And that's what it was. In prison, it was a free market. Like people gonna trade this just for that for this for that. While when you're outside of that environment, we're pretty much stuck in a system that completely controls the kind of money. Like you can only trade dollars. Like no, you trade dollars and dollars here, dollars there. That you're not allowed to trade it for anything else, unless you outside of saying, oh, I meet you on the street, I'll trade you this laptop for whatever, and that's completely off the books. That the IRS ain't got nothing to do with that. But when it comes to like just like regular commerce, like going to the store buying groceries, the stuff that is not illegal, quote unquote, you gotta pay in dollars. And this is where this whole idea of decentralized money comes in. So I really like that analogy that you put out there, letting people know that the reason why I relate to this is because it's simple to me. I remember this. This is just like how do y'all not get it out here? And it's really difficult for me to be like, oh, it's because y'all so used to this one thing. It's really hard for you to move on from it, kind of stuff. But the people younger than us, you know, especially like young black kids, they're not playing with money like that. So they don't really experience like having to deal with money. At least a lot of people when I was growing up, and I grew up from a very poor family. You feel me? I'm Haitian, and my people flew over here. You know, whatever. Kids, they don't know about money. So when they get older, they first dealings with money is like getting federal aid, or you know, they first job out of like a high school, or like first job in high school, and being able to manage that. And so they're not really acclaimed to having that. So when Bitcoin's around and they realize they always had this second option, it's going to be second nature to them to just pick it up instead of saying, well, I'm so stuck into this one system, I don't even want to know what on. But going back into history, we had a lot of decentralized applications like LimeWire, you know, file sharing and stuff like those like I know you remember LimeWire. Don't even play.
They talk about the coronavirus. I destroyed a lot of computers with LimeWire.
A lot, bro. Well, I remember the first time my stepdad caught some. You know, I ain't even gonna talk about it. But you know, LimeWire was a peer-to-peer file sharing site. You know what I'm saying? You allowed people to share files peer-to-peer. Now, when I say we can send money peer-to-peer, people are like, what? That don't even make sense. So, you know, how would you go about it to somebody saying, how would you try to explain to somebody this is decentralized money?
You would say it like, well, without blowing their head off, really.
See how hard it is without blowing their head off?
It got to be something like, well, you tell them that what folks have to realize is you made an example, like I trade you a laptop or whatever. Like you and I, you determine what the value is. It's always been that way. Even when gold was here, when folks would trade cattle, when folks would trade people, you know what I mean? Like, yo, I got a strong black man, let me get 3 of them over here. That was currency. That was something of value at the time. So 2 people determine what the value is. So if I sit here and say to you, like, hey, and that's a lot of times what it is, people have to understand, like, decentralized only means there's no intermediate person in the middle. Meaning that I could send, like, I think there was a report out there the other day, like someone sent someone a couple of $1 million for 30 cents.
30 cents.
There's nobody in between. There's no in between. Now there comes there's a lot of risk involved where there's no in between. Like, I could run off on you if I chose to. However, you and I can determine what this value is. So if you don't agree that Bitcoin is valuable, you're not going to accept it. You know what I mean?
Not even that. Go ahead. I want to let you finish.
And I was telling my other friend, it was like, you know, you first have to teach people what money and what currency and what the value of it really is. Like, the American dollar is only backed by what the folks at the top say it is and some bullets. Like, this is why when people think, well, they're just gonna print off more money and the rich gonna get richer, the poor gonna be poor. I said that does not necessarily mean that. What that means is the value of dollar is going to go down even more, but you're gonna only focus on the face value of what that thing says. However, the real value is the fact that you just can't keep printing things off, and it's valuable. So folks, before they even understand what decentralization is, they gotta understand, like, you ain't really playing with nothing of real value. You know what I mean? Because what brings value is scarcity. Think of real estate. The only reason the price of land go up because people keep building on and ain't enough land there. The only reason Bitcoin keep going up in value because only 21 million gonna never be printed. And every single year, every 4 years, it gets harder and harder and harder.
Slap.
You know what I mean?
Done. No, it is. It is. You have to, It's digital real estate. That's what I love that word. It's digital real estate. Get yourself a piece of it, because Bitcoin is the very first digital asset that is actually scarce, that has a finite supply. And not only that, everyone knows the supply. Not only that, we can't change that. And people are like, oh, well, it's like kind of like old Pokemon cards. It's like a collector's item. And I'm sitting here like, well, if it's like a collector's item, like old Pokemon cards, what happens to those over long periods of time? They get more valuable. So you're comparing this thing to something, I mean, granted, Bitcoin has already passed that phase. It's already past the collectibles phase. And that was like back in like that 2016 era. It's like a collectible, or maybe even like 2014 era. It's a collectible. Now it's really starting to get like real money into it. And when I say real money, I mean big dollars, big like money. I'm talking like I've never seen before type money, because someone else told me a billionaire couldn't put $1 million in Bitcoin without completely crashing the market or completely flipping because think about it. What if someone really tried to buy $1 million worth of Bitcoin on Coinbase right now? They would stop the transaction. They'll be like, oh no, we can't handle this. Because they know they can't handle it. Now, if a billionaire trying to put $1 million in this can't do that, me over here putting my little bit of money, you know what? Well, if you can't get $1 million, shit, I'm gonna get a couple hundred here and there every other week. I'm gonna go do this couple thousand here there, just so that I can get some. And people don't realize. Hold up, hey, ring light, stop playing with me. There we go. Hold up, it's flipping. Thank God I can edit this, boy. Nah, for real, thank God I can edit this. But ring light, scarcity, money. What was I going with that?
You said a billionaire
can't put $1 million in Bitcoin without completely shaking the market all the way out of whack. And so seeing that, it's showing me that the little guy, this thing is built for the little guy. The little guy can get in and get some money in, right? Before the big dudes really completely understand. Now, granted, I know there are some big dudes that clearly understand this and they've been on the wave, but not all of them. They're not all here. And once they start finally building these like institutional, where you can completely flip your your 401k into a Bitcoin like RRA, which there's one company that already does that. But when you're able to like move your regular assets into Bitcoin assets without having too much friction or a tax implication, because that's really what rich people like. They're not trying to move their money out of no system because they're not trying to pay taxes. So once you're able to move Bitcoin from like stocks to crypto without having to pay a tax for it, I think that's when real adoption and real money is going to flood this space, because now they're going to be like, oh, it's tax. Oh, I don't got to pay taxes on this. I can move it from here to here. Just like how if you have a property, if you have a house, there are like rules and regulations that say, okay, you don't have to pay taxes on this house if you use the profits from this house to buy another house. And so that's really how like these house flippers, how they do it. They don't pay taxes on it until the next house is even bigger, and the next house after that's even bigger. Then they'll pay the taxes off the big house because they moved from a little rinky ass house to a big house, and they'll pay the taxes on that instead of the small one. So I don't know. I went on a whole different tangent, bro. My fault. But I want to get to a little more about you. You know what I'm saying? Because you came on the channel, you wanted to support me. So what's your goal now from like 2020 and beyond? Like, what is your goal when it comes to the crypto space and your business informative services? Did I say that right?
Transformational services.
There you go. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna say that again just to delete that. So what is your goals moving forward for like transformational services, and just like I'm pretty sure you accept Bitcoin, but like what's the goal moving forward from here?
Well, the one that goes moving forward from here, I want to get my website set up to where I accept a BTC pay server, right?
Oh
However,
wow, that's you gonna go through some regulations for that one, bruh.
we gonna see. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know just yet with that. I mean, or I just might accept it on the back end. Who knows? But really though, what I want to do is still in my mind, but I want to create some type of community, or let's say like a development, to where, because I do a lot of reading, you know what I mean, and I read this one book. I think I read it right after Zay's book called "The Future Is Faster Than You Think," and he just taught, and the author talks a lot about convergent technologies. He got Bitcoin in there, and I want to like build a community of housing development based upon, like, think of it like this: when you implement certain technologies together, price of living, like your quality of life should go up, but the price of living shouldn't. Like, look at how Bitcoin interacts right now. Like, you're starting to see the dollar has no value, but something built around like Satoshi payments, so people wouldn't have to live so far out they means. You know what I mean? Like, let's say you got a solar panel home that was made from a 3D printer, and you somewhat use the blockchain to pay for things, but it's not like, and within using the blockchain to pay, or Bitcoin or whatever crypto you choose to pay for it, the price is not as high because what you're using is really valuable. For instance, like one of my homeboys, I said, Bitcoin might go crazy this year. And he said, yeah, so, how would you do that? I said, well, of course I would hold it, but let's say you wanted to sell me something for $20 USD, and you're like, all right, I'll take $20 in Bitcoin. There's no way in the hell I'm going to give you $20 worth of Bitcoin for something that's only worth 20 USD, because it doesn't appreciate the same. So,
no, you speak, because you're speaking truth right now. But continue. I ain't want to go ahead.
So, like within the space, I do want to like get back into like some type of tech situation. I believe like within a few years of getting my business to where I could place focus on that, because trying to build a node was really like, I had no computer experience whatsoever. So I bought a Raspberry Pi, tried to build a Lightning node, and I'm only copying and pasting off of GitHub. I got to check the internet for like where the code went wrong. And that kind of stretched me a whole lot, but also let me know like there's still some gaps that can be filled for a major entrepreneur in the space. So I can't really say what that is yet, because I like creating something off of necessity you see, out there in the world that's needed. But it'll come soon. I'm not quite sure yet. That's why I focus a lot on right now, just like I said, adoption, getting people used to hearing, getting people used to talking about. Like, I remember on my Instagram post, I posted the open down, and this woman at my coworker space, she was like, "What was that?" She said, "It looks scary." I'm just like, I mean, that's the future of how things can go. You know what I mean? Like, just so right about now, just keep throwing that
energy. No, but keep reminding them, keep throwing that energy, because here's the thing. Like, I'm going back to looking at like old interviews about people, old like Mark Zuckerberg interviews, or old what's the Amazon guy? I can't even remember his name now.
Jeff
Bezos, looking old interviews at him and seeing these prime time interviews of like, yeah, man, Amazon's gonna be an online bookstore. We got libraries though. Why do we need this? The internet provides this. Yeah. There ain't nobody finna use this. 20 years later. So nobody was finna use this, right? Oh, okay. Okay. And the thing is like, but they had the confidence and the know-how to know this is going to change the world. And the moment I realized that there was nothing else that could take my attention away from this. That's how I feel about Bitcoin. Nothing else can take my attention. Are you going to give people freedom from the Federal Reserve? Are you going to create a system that allows people to trade freely? Nah, you talking about something else. All right, cool. I ain't trying to hear it, because you can get so engulfed into this. You really can. And once you dive, like, you're right. People have to be educated about money first before they even can buy their first Bitcoin. Because if you're buying a stock, I'm buying Amazon stock. Why are you buying Amazon stock? Because it's been around for so long. They keep going up in price, this, and that. Well, why don't you buy some Bitcoin? Well, I don't know how. It doesn't have any lineage. It doesn't have any this. It doesn't have any like value to them. But damn, where was I going with that? Sorry, I almost lost my train of thought. Back to just like comparing value and comparing Amazon stock and the education. Perfect. So, but they're in their right mind, they understand that like Amazon's been around for a while, so they're going to put their money into this. But they're educated. They understand that Amazon has a website, they have investors, there's a CEO, there's all this and that, and they use Amazon. So why not buy a piece of Amazon stock? But then if you're trying to tell somebody to buy some Bitcoin, I don't know nothing about that. It just sounds like some scammy internet money. Well, it's the purest form of money. It's how money's supposed to act. Huh? I don't really get it. Okay, don't worry about it. I'll see you in 5 years when you come back. When you come back, we'll try to explain to you what real money is. And not only that, but now this real form of money has transcended physical form, and now it's all digital. And people, I be trying to tell people the U.S. dollar is already digital. You just need to wait for the U.S. to ban cash. That's it. Like, think about that. The U.S. dollar is already a cryptocurrency if you think about it. Because it's in digital form, it goes from bank to bank, it moves fast, I can send you money through Cash App, and it's already a cryptocurrency. It's already a stable coin. All they got to do is remove all the ATMs. Because if you think about it, any of the stable coins you think about, they're just cash, like USDC. That's owned by a company. Tether, that's owned by a company. DAI, I mean, granted, DAI is a little bit different. In the sense, it's a little more decentralized. But what's the difference between Tether, USDC, and the US dollar that's on my bank account? Ain't no difference from that. So there's already a state. It's already there. All they need to do is ban cash, but they're not going to do that anytime soon. But I wanted to just give us a couple more questions about so I know people don't like doing this, but what are your future predictions? And I'm talking about price predictions. People don't like doing this, but what I always say is if these big dudes at the top can say any price they want and always be wrong and never lose their job, then never lose their reputation, then why can't we? You know what I'm saying? So
I ain't gonna lie. I want that Jamie Dimon effect. I say some shit and then the prices plummet or whatever. But that's cool with me. But people ask me, do I see? All right, so let's go backwards. Do I see Bitcoin going to 6 figures sometime soon? Yeah. Let me see. Do I think it will bubble this year? Hell yeah, because smart. Like if you smart enough, you catching this free money. Put it this way, I have not received my check yet. However, if I do, y'all know it's gonna go.
You know it's gonna go.
And if the Democrats, or let me not throw out the party names, but
it don't matter, bro. Everybody talking about bro. Everybody talking about politics now. It's a recession. Yeah. Everybody trying to figure out who gonna fix this.
Yeah. So if you really provide people with $2,000 a month until this is over, and you've been knowing people like you and me, hell yeah. So and here's another thing. I have not checked up on how the Lightning Network is really working yet. So if you ask me what my price prediction would be, Bitcoin might shoot up past, like when Bitcoin starts getting them high 5 figures, that means that what was such a big deal back in 2017 or 2018 was the fact that like, well, you know, it's cool and all, but it takes too long to send. Visa moves faster. So
now nobody even talks about that.
Huh?
I love how nobody even talks about that no more. Like it's not even a thing no more. Like the narrative has changed.
Yeah, and then like so, and that's something that's always in my mind. I'm thinking like, all right, so for Bitcoin to go past 20K, we're gonna have to have. I mean, I remember when Segwit was implemented, but the exchange is gonna have to be lower and faster. So if you got that going on correctly, and this publicized and put out there that, yeah, this is working, lightning speed is working, micro payments of fast transactions is working, that's something that people need, you know what I mean? Because people want that immediacy, like, well, I got to wait 10 minutes for this to go through.
Oh, hell nah. Bro.
That's a long ass time for certain people. So my price prediction,
I'm going to say by the end of 2022, I'll give you some time.
Oh, 2022, shit. We might be about, 2022, I'll give it probably about 150K.
Oh, we're about right now too. I'm over here thinking by the end of 2022, I'm over here looking at like 100K per Bitcoin.
You know, I mean, yeah, and so when you think of it like that, anything between now and $15,000 is cheap.
I think anything under 20K is cheap.
Yeah, because people paying off. All right, here's a great example. People will say Bitcoin is a lot of money, but will continue to pay student loans and not be nowhere close to paying it off. But let's say you paid 20 grand off. You didn't, and when you first had your student loans, you probably had like 10 grand. You didn't pay 20 grand, but you still owe $40,000, but you don't want to pay Bitcoin. That's crazy. It's crazy.
It's and I think it's all back to education. It's all back to financial, that's more of financial education, understanding that there's only so much debt you can pile up to compare to how much income you're making. And if that ratio is off, then you stuck like in a debt ratio that you need to fix. And so, I mean, you know, some people, when they're like in really, really, really bad debt, I try to tell them that, you know, I ain't no financial advisor, but
yeah, me neither.
But you know what I'm saying? But like, pay off extra loud, so nobody can come out here try to sue me. I don't know what you talking about. I ain't tell you to buy nothing. Yeah. But and I know that sounds scammy as hell, but it's the truth. Like I the reason why I say this is because I've been in this space long enough to learn, and like when they say do your own research, that's not a joke. Do your own research. But I try to let people know, like, in my opinion, this is not advice, but like I try to pay that debt off a little bit more before you start like throwing in your money into something you don't understand, because clearly you don't understand that debt to, you know, income ratio. First thing you need to understand is what money really is. Money is not money is not a means to an end. It's a tool that you need to use properly. And a lot of people don't understand that. They think it's a means to an end. Oh, when I pay this house off, when I pay this debt off, when I pay this car off, when I pay all this off, and I'm this, I'll be free. But at the end of the day, you don't realize, even like we got millionaires killing themselves because they're not happy. Their money is not a means to an end. It's a tool that you need to use for the rest of your life, because until you die, you always gonna have to deal with money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, real quick, where can people find you, bro? Where can they find you? Where can they get your information? Where can they like support your business and whatnot? Let them know right now.
All right, my website, bitcoinvegan.com.
In the link below. No, I said in the link below. I'm gonna drop it in the video, of course. Sorry, go ahead, continue.
Go and follow me on Instagram, Bitcoin Vegan. Follow me on Twitter, Bitcoin Vegan. And if you're real fancy and you on LinkedIn, follow me as Justin Redrick.
Okay, facts. I zoomed into his name right now so y'all can find it. I'm thinking about the editing that I'm about to do. Hey, that's how you find them. But other than that, man, thank you so much for coming on the channel. I can't wait to get you back on the channel to see how life has progressed since from now to then. Because trust me, things are fun to really move, and I really believe that next year is going to be a real busy year for us in the cryptocurrency space, because things are really about to change. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I want to say this too, though.
Go ahead.
So another thing I do at times is I DoorDash, and I've been DoorDashing during COVID-19, and I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of some eerie shit. But I was like, all right, it's almost a situation where you could possibly make $100 a day DoorDashing if you have the energy to do it. So within doing that, what I've been doing was taking some of that money from DoorDash, because if you got a certain amount of drive, you can cash out that day. Taking that money, putting it on Cash App, buying Bitcoin with that, and sending it to my wallet. So even within the coronavirus or within, this pandemic, if you wasn't necessarily set up correctly, you play games with your money, which I ain't gonna lie, I did, and you really wanna, because one thing I learned in this is, is like really take it serious. And I would read books based upon how finances work on this side of money with the US currency. And one thing the man told me, he said, it's not about how much, one thing I read out the book was, he said, it's not about how much you make per se, but it's about what you spend. So if you spend a certain amount of money per day and you start really realizing what you don't need to spend, but you can put it into something like Bitcoin that has greater returns in a year than most things have within 7, then I started flipping the switch. I'm like, all right, if I DoorDash or whatever I do when I do those little odd jobs, the main thing is to put it in Bitcoin. This is day by day or every other day, whatever, to where like my whole goal was to do what? Get more Bitcoin.
And see, this thank you for saying that, because Bitcoin turns regular people into entrepreneurs and into savers. Bitcoin forces you to look at what you're buying. Once you really understand the concept, and once you hit like a 50% drop and want to buy some more, but you realize you ain't got no cash, it turns you into like, oh, I need to find some way to make some more cash. I ain't never seen Bitcoin this low. And so it turns regular people into hustlers. It turns regular people into entrepreneurs. It's like, oh, there's opportunity here. Yes, it is the gold rush. It is gold rush. And it's about getting your piece of the real estate. And if you ain't got no piece of the real estate, you're going to be assed out. And people are going to be looking at you like, you ain't know this thing was here this whole time? Like, people thinking
how your great grandchildren gonna look at you and be like, yo, we still struggling. Bitcoin has been around for how long? Now it's at $2 million. Like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Like, that's a real thing. Like, think about that, like, and so even with that, I said, all right, let's say you set this thing up a certain way. Let's say, all right, you give yourself a period of a 10x wallet or a real long-term wallet, get you about 1,000, in that one small 10x wallet. You got $10,000 you're doing something with. Now you get to move differently. You know what I mean? Like, it's all about ownership, and it's about just playing. I look at it like this, bruh. I'm going to play the game with the rules that was given for one side of the game, to where on this side of the game, the results are different, but the rules couldn't apply the same way.
No, because it makes sense. You taking the rules from this side of the game, and you taking these rules, and you playing the game over here, but here, with those same rules, it's like a cheat code. It's like, oh, y'all ain't know this is how we play over there. Like, we hit over here. Y'all got pads on. We hitting over here. So how y'all feel? Like, you feel me? When you put a beast inside, I mean, we put a beast inside just a room full of men, the beast is gonna run around. And so taking that ideology and putting it into something else, taking your ideology from what you've learned in prison, from what you learned from being in the space so long. Now you like, I'm a beast now. Oh, y'all still men. Y'all still don't get it yet. You worried about the price? All right, let me keep building this business over here. Y'all still worried about? Y'all still don't believe yet? Wait, call me when you 2 years in. We'll talk then.
Because this is one of the ultimate levels. First of all, it's like a level of, oh, I just hope the price keep going up, and then you go across the FUD. And you want to get everybody in, and you want to be like, man, why don't y'all just come on and buy? This is a great thing. And then, you start realizing, like, man, yo, it don't even matter. I ain't finna tell nobody nothing. Like, you want to tell people, but you don't feel like wasting your breath. And then you start thinking, like, well, how about we start hoping the price go down some more? And then you start saying to yourself, well, why don't you keep talking about Bitcoin? Like, well, y'all don't pay enough to listen. And that great energy and breath I could be using to go buy me some. So now it's to the point like what you don't buy, I'll go buy. So if you don't go buy that 0.05, I will. If you're not gonna buy that 0.10 Bitcoin, that's good because I'm gonna go get it now. You know what I mean? Like now it's not a big thing to me. Because once you've done your part like you're doing now, putting the word out there, you're at least telling people and giving them an option that they can change their life. Once they don't go do it, you now take that energy. Let me go get mine, even more so than before.
All right, bro. But nah, thank you. You talking exactly what I want to hear. I love it. But I'm gonna have to go ahead and wrap this up real quick, so that because it's like 6:30. I'm like, all right, cool. I have to wrap. I got like my phone blowing up because I got like something else to do. But
no problem. Bro.
You already said everything where you're gonna go. Just remind everybody again, so I can wrap this up. Remind everybody again where they can find you.
www.bitcoinvegan.com.
Facts.
Instagram Bitcoin Vegan, Twitter Bitcoin Vegan, and if you fancy LinkedIn, Justin Redrick.
All right, bet. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching the episode. Go ahead, leave it in the comments if you have any question for Justin. If you have any insight on if you want to know anything about what his business are, definitely follow him on all his social medias. Other than that, check me out next time. Take it easy. Peace. Yeah.